What you doing? Your body's missing. You being a worm? Hey, what's up everybody? In today's video, I just want to address a few things. First off, let me give a shout out to Mr. Richard Bonner. He is another person on YouTube who commented on my comment from another channel, Olympus Reptiles, and he asked me when am I going to make another update video on my mice, what's happening with them, and I explained to him that I am moving soon, so we're not going to be making any more videos for quite some time, but he specifically asked me to make a video on the mice. So that gave me the inspiration and the energy to try to pump out another one right before the move. So let me show you what happened to the mice. This is what happened to them. They're gone. Was that just clickbait? Did I just make a clickbait video? I mean, I kind of did address it in my last video. In the little description box, if people had read it, they would know that my mice colony is gone, and it's been gone for quite a few months now. I don't know, maybe this is my first clickbait video. I did have a surplus of mice. Carlisle had way more than enough mice pinkies to last him for like a whole year. We're actually trying to feed them all off right now because we're leaving in 2 weeks and there's still so much to be eaten. And all of the mice that I decided to let grow up into adults, they've all been eaten already, and I'm like running out of food for my snakes at this point, which is good because I don't want any more frozen feeders in my fridge because they're all gonna thaw out in the move and I don't want to waste anything. So I've been going to the local reptile store and I've been getting live rats, or at least just frozen rats, for just the amount I want. And if it is live, I am pre-killing them because rats have large teeth and I don't want them to bite my snakes. So the other thing I wanted to address in this video is why I'm moving to California, and that is because I got a job as a doctor over at a children's hospital in Central California. I will be there for the next 3 years, so this is a pretty big move for me. I matched into my top choice program and I'm super stoked and very excited to be going back there. Really cool fact about the area that I'm moving to, they actually have this thing called a tarantula migration every year. They have these tarantulas. I don't know what the species is, but you can actually see them walking across the sidewalk. It's mostly just males that are doing it so that they can go find a female to mate with. And I'm definitely going to film it for you guys to see as well. Now the last thing I want to address is I do remember mentioning in a previous video a long time ago when I first moved back into my house here in Orlando that I was gonna go make a house tour or a reptile room tour once I get everything set up. That never happened. So I'm going to do it right now. It's going to look really kind of crappy because I'm in the middle of moving. The house is a huge mess. There are boxes everywhere. But I decided I want to show you what my setups currently look like right now so that I can compare them to what they're going to look like in the new home. A lot of animals are going to get upgraded enclosures. Some enclosures are going to be revamped. And there's going to just be better natural lighting and everything. I'm actually going to be able to have a dedicated reptile room in my new house and not just have them scattered around the house or in my bedroom. So I'm very excited for that. But let's get to the house tour really quick. It's just going to be a small slip-slap kind of tour because there's not really much to see. It's mostly just a bunch of cages that have reptiles in them and then a bunch of cardboard boxes and mess and clothes and everything's thrown around the house. Alright, so let's tour the rest of the house. On this side, this is my living room. I've got my shredder, doggy toy box, giant stuffed doggy toy, stuff I'm trying to get rid of, empty mice bin, empty mice supplies, school art supplies, TV that's not mine, luggage that I still haven't unpacked from my trip in October, random duggo, second random duggo, half folded pile of laundry. It's been sitting there for about a week. My backyard outside, you can barely see the grass very well because of all the hard water mineral buildup on the glass, which means I will have to clean it before I move out. Now back to the cute duggo on the couch. Hello, duggo. What do you feel about the move? You don't even know what's happening, huh? Yeah. In this corner, I've got a lamp that I need to pack up. All these picture frames that I never had a chance to hang up in the past year that I've been in this house. A bunch of tarantula molts that I tried to frame and then failed because I dropped it a couple of times, so all the legs broke off. Random table that's not mine. Electric keyboard that I bought a few months ago and have only played a handful of times. To finish off the living room, I've got my coffee table, the dogs again, and a whole bunch of stuff that I need to sort through and pack. I still have a bunch of moving boxes here that I need to fill up. This is the dining table. Got a bunch of my stuff right here. These are a bunch of tarantula molts that I still need to frame and hang up. some other molts, random turtle shell that I found. This is a taxidermy tarantula. This is Mars the Second. I'm not sure if I ever actually introduced him into my videos, but he was a mature male. And so after he passed away, I decided to mount him, and he's gonna go into this little frame here. It's a box frame with the background under it. And then a whole bunch of other stuff that I still need to go through. Vacuum cleaner, very useful. Into the kitchen, I have 4 dog bowls, even though we only use those 2. Random kitchen stuff. That's a broken ice box for the freezer. I don't know how to fix it, so we took it out. I have my last fish tank here. This is Oscar, my beta. I believe I have featured him in my previous videos. He is still in his 5-gallon tank. He now has 2 panda Cory catfish friends, because my other tank, which was here, that had Spartacus in it. Spartacus had a really bad case of recurrent Popeye, and I decided to euthanize him because it was just getting worse and worse, and I just couldn't see him looking like that. He was already blind in both eyes and couldn't feed on his own. So I sent him off into another world where he would be pain-free. So now I only have Oscar right here, who's doing really good. I ended up taking Spartacus's plants that were in his riparium, and I put them in this like lemonade jar. Where's the handle? So it's got all his plants still. It's got his, I think this is a philodendron, more philodendron. Actually, that's a pothos. And then there's some philodendron somewhere in there. Some more fish stuff, random gravel, more gravel from Spartacus's old tank. Laundry room, where I keep the dogs' kibble when I am too lazy to thaw out their frozen raw patties. In this freezer is where I usually put the dogs' food, except they finished it today. And this is where I keep my rats. I put a blackboard on it that says rats so that my roommates don't have to look at dead rats all the time. But you can tell my fridge is pretty empty. Just have a few frozen silver sides, like 1 or 2 small mice. These are some raw turkey necks. These are dog treats, actually. Some random, more cut up silver sides for Carlisle to eat, which I don't think he's going to finish. This is what I meant by taking down my mice colony. So this thing was packed to the brim just like a week ago. I managed to feed off a good amount of them to Liam as treats. We're trying to get rid of all of them right now because there's no way Carlisle's going to finish this in 2 weeks. Raw fish food. We feed the freshwater multi-pack. If I'm too lazy, I'll feed them flakes, but I prefer feeding them this. I think it's healthier. More rats, more pinkies, and more dog treats. Usually it's full to the brim, but I'm moving. I forgot to show off the dog's fancy little water bowl. It came from recycled materials. I got it from a guy from a farmer's market. These are baby gates, but I use them as doggy doors. There's a second one over there. This is my roommate's hallway, and here's the front door. So these gates kind of serve 2 purposes. One, to keep them out of my roommate's area, and to keep them from running out into the street, which they never do anyways. But it's still nice to know that my dogs can't get into certain areas of the house. Last but not least, my bedroom and the backyard. This is my lovely reptile room / bedroom. I see that a random doggo has moved to my bed. These are all my snake sheds. This is kind of like my reptile rack, sort of. A bunch of cardboard boxes, luggage that I still haven't unpacked for my vacation 2 weeks ago. Bunch of mess here. There's Tofu's first shed. Starting at the top of the rack, that's all just supplies. That little tub there has superworms for my leopard gecko. These are all my tarantulas in these 2 racks there. That's tarantula supplies. I'm not going to go through all the teas today because I want to cover them in the future video. Going down a level lower, I've got a plant area. These are pretty much just like room plants. They're not doing so hot, mostly because I keep forgetting to water them. But over here, you can see that I've kind of got a little terrarium. Not sure how much you can see in there, but there are a lot of live plants that are growing and thriving really well in these humid conditions. And some more plants over there. It's kind of hard to see because of all the humidity. These are some empty containers. That's where I usually keep my crickets in, but I don't have any at the moment. Here's some lichen. I'm planning to use it for a terrarium. It's gonna just be a plants only. It's not gonna have any animals in it. Some pillow moss, mini Anubias Nano Petite. Here's Carlisle's tank. Hey Carlisle, my friend. He's usually up on that branch, but I just fed him last night, so he's probably in there because he's digesting. Hello. You look like an ostrich. Yes, you do. Don't Seriously, dude? Okay, whatever. His feed response is still really strong. The ferns in his tank are growing really well. I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I've never had luck with ferns, and these guys are growing so well that I've even taken a few and I've put them into that dart frog tank over there. Down here, we have Bagel's enclosure. It's supposed to be bioactive, but all the plants are kind of dying. It used to be really lush. I will insert a photo now. And I'm not really seeing any more of the little beetles and the superworms I put in there as the cleanup crew. They weren't doing a good job anyways because his poop is right there and no one's cleaning it. I don't even know if I would call it a bioactive vivarium anymore, but there's Bagel. I'll go through his enclosure a little bit more in depth at the new home. That is his calcium dish over there, his feeding bowl, and his water bowl. Over here, it's just all the thermostats. They've got thermometers and hygrometers, temperature gun, and some random other reptile electronic stuff. This is my tortoise's enclosure. This is Hoppy. Looks like his water dish needs to be changed. He tracks dirt in it about 3 times a day, so. But that's his food, some mushed up Missouri that he's finally decided to eat. And then Hoppy's little basking spot. Look how big he's gotten. You can see how big Hoppy is compared to the size of his enclosure. He's actually outgrown it. He's right there. But this is almost a 4-foot long tub. And I am planning to upgrade him to an enclosure that's more than twice the size of this at the new place, and that's kind of why I've been holding off on upgrading him here because I knew I was going to move anyways. Over here we have Liam's cage. I did make a good video on this showing how I built it. It's doing pretty well. I've had to replace the plants a good couple of times because they keep on dying on me. You can see Liam right here. Hey Liam, what you doing? Jasper, what are you doing? You're scared of snakes. Yeah, he's terrified of Liam. But look, there he is. He's underneath his substrate. He likes to burrow. You can kind of see a little darkling beetle. Actually, they're kind of all crawling around him. Why? No, leave him alone. These are all the beetles from the superworms that I put in here as cleanup crews. But they're not really cleaning up any of this stuff, so I might actually remove the beetles because there's a ton right there, and I feel like it's gonna bother him. I mean, he seems to be fine now, but still, I don't like it. I don't know, Liam. Do they bother you? He doesn't really seem to care. So here's his cage, currently now with snake plants instead of whatever other plants I put in. I can't even remember because I've replaced the plants so many times already. Above Liam's cage, there are a bunch of other stuff on here that's not even reptile related. I do have some vivarium electronics thermostats. I love these things. Here's the dart frog tank, and I did kind of cover it in my last video. So all the plants here, you can kind of see this area. This is the little fogger. Moving on from the dart frog tank, this is another tank with a new snake. There's her little head sticking out right there, and the camera won't focus, but that's okay because I don't want to reveal what she is yet. You can figure it out if you follow my Instagram at Karen the Anteater, hashtag self-promotion. So right underneath this tank, I have my snake rack, and you guys have seen this in my previous videos before, but I'm not going to go over any of the snakes in here because a few changes have been made. The only one you can see is Tofu, and that's her right there. She's a big girl now. The last animal in my room / reptile room is Pickle, my crested gecko. There she is. Camera's having a really hard time focusing because of all the water mineral buildup on the glass, but that's Pickle. She's my first reptile, actually, if you guys did not know that. So after her tank, I just have the little dog bed. This is basically their little corner to sleep in. They actually use that backrest more than I ever have in my life. And a half-empty bookshelf because I've already packed everything away. This is my bathroom, currently very messy. The only thing that I always keep clean is this one sink right here, because it is reserved for Hoppy, my little tortoise. So meaning no other chemicals other than water and chlorhexidine to disinfect the sink is allowed to go in here. This way he's not exposed to any chemicals such as toothpaste residue or soap when he's soaking in his sink. Here I've got my shower, a bathtub full of random reptile substrates. that I still need to clean out. This is my walk-in closet. Pretty much all of my clothes are already packed and it's just hangers at this point. These are all the boxes that are currently packed. Moving on back into my room and out to the backyard. I think you guys have seen the backyard quite a few times, but I figured I'd film it just so you guys can see, as well as keep a recording of what my old house used to look like when I decide to miss it at my new place. So a bunch of random really bad junk that's actually been sitting here for quite a long time. My little lounge chair that I sometimes film on, some landscaping, cactus. Hoppy actually eats these. These are spineless prickly pear cactus. Patio table, which is also full of a ton of stuff. There are some succulents. I don't know why these guys are doing so much better than the ones in Bagel's tank, but whatever. These are propagating. I'm gonna spray it a little bit. A little plant, a little kitty plant. Here's Hoppy's super sketchy looking outdoor basking area. He definitely is going to get a way better looking one when we get to the new place. More plants. There's Luca. There's a golf course right there. I don't really see any golfers today. This is my very sad looking vegetable garden. There is a tree here. I think this is either a mango tree or a jackfruit tree. I'm not sure, but my dad planted it. And some really sad looking kale. It's all kind of wilted. Some green onions. Hi Luca, what you doing? And oh, some of the peppers have grown back again. More really sad looking wilted kale. This tent looking thing right here is supposed to be a sun protection cover for the tomato plant that is no longer existent. Some more plants on this side. These snake plants, I actually propagated them and I replanted them right here. Let's see if they survive. I mean, it's kind of been about a month, so hopefully. Jasper's little toy, random tree that we're trying to grow. Actually, I think it's dead. I don't see anything there anymore. Here's another tree. This one's doing good. Look at this one. The other corner of my yard, they're all kind of similar. Oh, look, there's another tree that's doing really good. Some more plants. Palm trees, more snake plants. This guy's going out of control. Look at him. And then my fence that I'm trying to actually get these ivy to grow on. I'm not even sure if it's ivy. I'm pretty sure it's just a weed, but it looks really nice, so we're gonna let it grow. The coolest feature of this yard is Luca's little agility course. He's got some basic agility stuff right here. We did have him doing jumping hurdles, but now that he's officially enrolled in a formal agility class, we're working on just groundwork, so he's not really jumping over anything, even though he does still give me a little hop, just because he's cute like that. And there's a hoop, another hurdle. I even made him this little tippy board. This is just so that he can get used to working with things that move. This will eventually be that seesaw that you see that dogs walk across and then they like go kerplunk. But yeah, so this is just him to get used to the idea of having something move when he puts weight on it. Alright, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe so that I can tell that more people are watching my videos, which will inspire me to make more and more videos for you guys to watch. If you want to follow my Instagram, it is Karen the Anteater, as I mentioned in the video earlier. I am very much more active on Instagram than I am on YouTube, so if you want any like new current updates on what's happening with my animals or in my life, that's the place to go, because YouTube is just something that I can do only when I have free time. It's not something I can just post in a few seconds or anything like that. So thank you so much again for watching this video, and I will see you next time.